1. Discussing a philosophical concept. What do you think about existentialism?
It's a fascinating philosophy focusing on individual freedom.
Do you agree with its principles?
To some extent, yes, I believe in personal responsibility.
Have you read any works by existentialist authors?
Yes, Sartre's Nausea was quite thought-provoking. 2. Analyzing a historical event.
How do you interpret the significance of the French Revolution?
It was a turning point in European history, promoting democracy.
Do you think it achieved its goals?
Partially, but it also led to much chaos and violence.
What was the most impactful outcome, in your opinion?
The rise of secularism and the decline of absolute monarchies.
3. Debating technological advancements. What are your thoughts on artificial intelligence?
It's both exciting and concerning. It has great potential.
Do you think it will replace human jobs?
Some jobs, yes, but it will also create new opportunities.
Should we regulate AI development?
Absolutely, ethical guidelines are essential to ensure safety. 4. Discussing environmental policies.
Do you support the current environmental policies?
Yes, but I think they need to be more stringent.
What changes would you suggest?
Greater emphasis on renewable energy and stricter emissions controls.
How can individuals contribute to this effort?
By reducing waste, using public transport, and supporting green initiatives.
5. Talking about cultural differences. Have you noticed any significant cultural differences while traveling?
Yes, especially in communication styles and social norms.
Which country had the most distinct culture?
Japan. Their respect for tradition and hierarchy is remarkable.
How did you adapt to these differences?
By observing, asking questions, and being respectful. 6. Evaluating educational systems.
How would you compare different educational systems?
Each has its strengths and weaknesses. For example, the Finnish system is very student-centered.
Do you think standardized testing is effective?
Not entirely. It often fails to measure true understanding.
What alternative methods would you suggest?
Project-based learning and continuous assessment are more holistic.
7. Discussing economic theories. What's your opinion on Keynesian economics?
It emphasizes the importance of government intervention in the economy.
Do you think it's applicable today?
Yes, especially during economic downturns to stimulate growth.
What about free market policies?
They have their merits, but can lead to inequality if unchecked. 8. Talking about art movements.
What's your favorite art movement?
I love the Impressionist movement. The use of light is captivating.
Do you have a favorite artist from that period?
Claude Monet. His work is simply mesmerizing.
Have you seen any of his paintings in person?
Yes, at the Musée d'Orsay in Paris. It was a wonderful experience.
9. Discussing language learning. What languages are you learning?
I'm currently studying Mandarin.
How challenging do you find it?
It's quite difficult, especially the tones and characters.
What methods do you use to learn it?
I use a combination of language apps, classes, and conversation practice. 10. Analyzing a piece of literature.
Have you read 1984 by George Orwell?
Yes, it's a powerful commentary on totalitarianism.
What stood out to you the most?
The concept of Big Brother and constant surveillance.
Do you think it's relevant today?
Absolutely. It reflects concerns about privacy and freedom.
11. Debating health policies. What do you think of universal health care?
I believe it's essential for a fair society.
How should it be funded?
Through taxes. It's an investment in the nation's well-being.
What are the main challenges?
Ensuring quality and managing costs effectively. 12. Discussing film genres.
What's your favorite film genre?
I enjoy psychological thrillers.
Any favorites?
Inception is a standout for me.
What do you like about it?
Its complexity and the way it explores the subconscious mind.
13. Evaluating social media impact. How do you view the impact of social media on society?
It's a double-edged sword. It connects people but can also spread misinformation.
Do you think it's addictive?
For many, yes, it can be hard to disconnect.
How can we use it responsibly?
By being mindful of our time and verifying information before sharing. 14. Discussing space exploration.
Do you think space exploration is worth the investment?
Yes, it can lead to significant scientific discoveries.
What are the potential benefits?
Advances in technology, understanding our universe, and potential colonization.
What about the risks?
High costs and the danger to astronauts are major concerns.
15. Talking about fashion trends. What do you think about current fashion trends?
They're quite bold and diverse.
Do you follow them?
Not strictly, but I incorporate elements I like.
What influences your fashion choices?
Comfort, personal style, and occasionally trends. 16. Discussing music genres.
What music genres do you listen to?
I have a varied taste, from classical to indie rock.
Do you play any instruments?
Yes, I play the guitar.
Have you ever composed your own music?
A few pieces, mostly for personal enjoyment.
17. Analyzing political systems. How do you compare different political systems?
Each has its merits and flaws. Democracies offer freedom, while authoritarian regimes can be more efficient.
Which system do you think works best?
I prefer democracies despite their imperfections.
Why?
They allow for individual freedom and accountability. 18. Discussing climate change.
How serious do you think climate change is?
It's one of the most pressing issues we face.
What can we do to mitigate it?
Reduce emissions, switch to renewable energy, and conserve resources.
Do you think governments are doing enough?
Some are making efforts, but much more is needed.
19. Talking about career aspirations. What are your career aspirations?
I aim to become a researcher in environmental science.
What drew you to that field?
A passion for nature and a desire to address environmental issues.
What steps are you taking to achieve that goal?
Pursuing a degree, internships, and participating in relevant projects. 20. Discussing international relations.
How do you view current international relations?
They're quite complex and often tense.
Which regions are you most concerned about?
The Middle East and East Asia.
What do you think are the key issues?
Political instability, economic competition, and territorial disputes.